In order to give me money, the Queen Annabelle said to me, "You are going to the football field of JB at 10 p.m., and you will meet my agents there, and they will tell you what to do." When I went to the football field at 10 p.m., I saw two mystics waiting for me there. I could go out in the night. There was nothing my parent could do because I dominated them, so I went to the football field. I met the mystic there. These mystics drew a line in the football field from one end to another. Then they collected the sand, and gave them to me. They instructed me to do incantation with it. They assured me that money will appear. They revealed to me that this sand represented destinies, stars and chances of young people that play football in this field. We have captured their destinies and their chances. I took the sand home and I did incantation in order to recoup the stars and chances of these young people, but there was no money. The siren Annabelle called me and told me, "There is a pastor preaching in television, and the power coming out television is stopping us from doing what we are supposed to do to give you money." When I went to check, I saw that the TV was off. The siren said to me, "Despite the fact that the TV is off, and it is still in the number or the frequency of the revival TV, open it and change the channel frequency." After changing the frequency I did incantation, but there was no result whatsoever. The siren then instructed me to leave the house. She said the house is affected by power coming from the revival TV and the pastor preaching on it. "You will have to change house if you really need the money." I said I do not have a place to go. She said as long as you are in that house there is nothing that we can do for you. There is an opposite power stopping us from doing whatsoever. Annabelle said to me before dawn, "Take water, drop it in the sand and put the sand on your face, and in the morning money will appear in my room." I did exactly as she instructed me, but in the morning there was no money. We must understand that all these formula that the siren Annabelle was instructing to perform work, but because of power of Jesus Christ coming from TV, the power of the marine of kingdom was obstructed. The house was inhabited by the presence of God. No magical formula was king. The marabout said to me, "You will leave that house if you re-earn the money. There is a presence in that house." I remember in this period there was power in my eyes. "If I stare you in the eyes you will be dominated." I like this because this allow me to dominate people and order them around. Later the siren gave me an envelope containing 4 stings and she instructed me to bury the 4 sting in our compound at 11 p.m., but when it was time to do it I forgot her instruction. Her husband the mystic was angry to hear that I failed to follow instruction. He visited me in the temple and we summoned Annabelle. When she showed up she was really angry. She was accompanied by 2 mermaids, that were extremely angry. These 2 water spirits were threatening me, but Annabelle was calming them and saying, "This is my daughter, I will teach her everything and she will serve our kingdom." She said to me, "I gave you these 4 sting that are powerful demons so that they can oppose and contain the power inhabiting your place. But you have failed to keep the instruction. You will go to the meeting of 2 stream, and you will throw the envelope inside the water, unders 5 dan that wherever water is flowing in this world, it is a point of contact to the realm of mermaid and siren, and there are water spirit dwelling inside." When throwing away these sting in the water I had to recite Our Father that are in heaven. When I threw the envelope in water the siren called me in order to inform me that he got his demons back. Later she gave me another envelope containing another sting that were demon, but they sting disappeared at home because of the presence of God. She said to me, "You will have to move out of this house if you want the money." When I received a phone call from Annabelle, she asked me, "Go check what is happening in your living room." I went to check and I noticed that my mother was watching Revival TV. I said to the Queen Annabelle that I saw my mother watching Revival TV. The siren said to me, "Our problem is the power coming out of that channel. That power from that TV channel is stopping us from working in your compound. You will have to leave your house." I said to Annabelle, "I don't know where to go." She said to me, "You are a woman, and we gave you power of domination. You can use it to impose your will on men." The following day I went to the temple. After prayer, Annabelle appeared and began to insist that I have leave the house of my parent. She gave me 6 pieces of salt I was supposed to put in the water when bathing at 12 a.m. When it was 12 I put salt in my water in order to bath, but I had to recite Our Father prayer. In the end I did everything, but there was no result. I was not happy because I was doing everything as instructed but there was no result. I called the pastor and said to him, I am doing everything but why are the money not appearing? He asked me to join him in the temple. After prayer 3 siren appear. They said to me, since you have refused to leave your place, the other method to get money is this: you're gonna need to seduce a man, so that you can capture his star and his chance through sexual relationship. We want you to seduce a pastor and sleep with him. I said to them, I don't know where to find that pastor. The marine spirits said to me, if you cannot seduce a pastor you must then become the girlfriend of the mystic of this temple. I opposed their proposition immediately. They got angry and were insisting that I had to do it. Finally I agree. Annabelle said, now you must work for us, and the more you work for us the more money in your account. She showed me $10,000, but every time I touched them it was disappearing. She said, if you win more people for us we will give you $15. I went through another initiation and I became the siren agent. I began to function like native doctor. Students were coming to the temple and I was supposed to help them distinguish in university. I was asking them to bring 3 white eggs. When they brought the egg I was breaking the egg on the statue. Actually these statues were evil spirit. We were breaking the egg on the statue. As a result a demon was entering the student. This demon was a scientist full of scientific knowledge. He knew everything, and was imparting great knowledge to these students who were passing their course with distinction. Some people were coming to us to help them in love matter. A man was in love with a woman but the woman was refusing. We asked him to bring the footprint of the woman. In the spirit world footprint represent people life. Once we had the footprint of the woman we were throwing it on the mirror. As a result the woman was appearing on the mirror, so that we would influence her heart to fall for the man. More than 20 people came to us for this love issue. I helped 30 students to pass their course in university with distinction. Later I went to visit the siren. I said to her, I have been doing everything you have asked me yet I am not getting the money that I wanted. Annabelle said to me, you need to give us the sperm of 100 people then you will have the money. I said to her, I have already given you men fertility and I have brought many customer. When I said this the siren began to yell at me. She said, you are really stubborn. Do you know how many people there are on the surface of the earth? Even if I was frustrated I agreed to do what she asked me. But when I went home I was overwhelmed by all this and I began to cry. Later on, my father said to me, you have changed, something is not right, but I told him nothing. Later I saw a pastor of a church in our neighborhood. I knelt before him and I began to cry. He asked me, Corinne, why are you crying? I said, I have a lot of things to tell you, I have a confession to make. Then we went to church. It was a certain Friday when we went to talk. I confessed everything to him. I begged him not to tell my parent, but he said to me that the situation is grave. My parent had to be informed. When my mother heard my story they began to cry. The following day the pastor took me in the mountain of prayer where Christian go pray, and when he began deliverance prayer the Siren Annabelle and marine spirit began to manifest in my mouth. In fact I made in covenant with the Siren Annabelle which united her to me. I became her and she became, I was inhabited by her and she was able to take my face and appeared on the surface of the earth, but in the end they were expelled from my body in the name of Jesus Christ. The bondage were broken. After my deliverance the mystic that was the husband of the Siren Annabelle and the mystic called Satan came physically to my compound. In order to capture me, they had an altercation with my father. They were looking for me in order to destroy me. Few days later the mystic who was the husband of the Annabelle died. I was just passing when I saw his photo and people were crying. I informed my parent that the marabout that was looking for me in order to capture me is dead.